A new viral trend has made its way to Central Florida that's terrorizing people right inside their own homes.
Fox 35's Danielle Lama spoke to one woman whose home spiraled into chaos after someone kicked their front door.
Unsuspecting people are just sitting inside their homes when a stranger comes up to the door and starts kicking. One Central Florida family caught it all on camera.
Now, these are gliders doing this for the most part. Glider teens and young glider men. And you know where I'm going with this. Even if some of these glider teens do this to the wrong person and get whacked out, you're never going to hear about it unless I do a story on it. However, we know how kids are nowadays with the internet and everything being accessible, trends just being universal at a click of a hat. Like, as soon as they do it, I did the devious licks trend that was going on where they were destroying their schools, the bathrooms, just destroying all types of property at the schools and taking videos of it. That caught fire, and then it was over. This one right here, just coming up to people's doors and kicking their doors. When Sunmen get this and they take it to their level too, because we'll add our Sun teens will add their own, essence to it. And if they do that to the wrong person and get smoked, and if that person who smokes them is a glider, we're going to have another conversation on race relations, man, in this country. Because right now, with glider teens doing it, doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if a guy comes out and shoots 10 of them. Doesn't matter the race of the guy who does it. None of that matters. Once Sun teens start doing it, then it becomes an issue of what if the cops are called, and it's a whole lot of stuff. But right now, we're pretty safe because it's only glider teens doing it.
Unsuspecting people are just sitting inside their homes when a stranger comes up to the door and starts kicking. One Central Florida family caught it all on camera.
Absolute terror. It was terrifying. I can't even express how scary it was.
It was around 8:20 Saturday night. Denise Mars says her family was watching TV in the living room when they heard the loud, sudden banging.
I went into the fight mode. I think that's one of the first times I've ever had to do it like that.
The dogs were barking. No one knew what to do. Then the Melbourne couple watched the video back and realized it looked like a prank.
All of the above. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed.
We used to do as a doorbell ditch type thing, but I think this was way worse than that.
The family believes it may have been a viral TikTok challenge where kids take videos kicking random doors. It's made headlines around the world.
And you know what? Look, if I was a kid, if they would have had this stuff when I was a kid, if they would have had this stuff, we would have been doing it too. Okay? We would have been behaving in similar ways with social media as these kids are. But we didn't have it, and we're different people, therefore. Because of that, our brains work different, we reason different, we see the world differently, we engage with the world differently, we were socialized differently. We waited. You had to just sit there and think. You couldn't get constant stimuli. So you would just sit there and think. There was no phone to flip through, no IG to flip. You just had to sit there and think sometimes. Okay? So I'm not here to beat up on these kids as far as the way they're responding to the world that they were born into. However, I'm just looking for the Sunman upgrade to this. Now they're just kicking people's doors and running. seemed like he just kicked the door maybe 5 or 6, 7 times and then ran. He covered his face too. The son team will not cover his face because he doesn't care about that glacier glider teen. He doesn't know how lenient the criminal justice system is. So he thinks he has to cover his face. A son team knows that a son team will not cover his face. And then the person whose house it is, when they look at their Ring doorbell, say, oh, that's the kid from down the street, or that's the kid that goes to school with my kid, or that's the kid from around the corner. And it's just a whole bunch of other stuff. And then the 6 or 7 kicks, the way the Sun community is now, they may take it to just shooting up random houses. They may escalate it to that. Or kick the door, and whoever come out the door, you got to punch him in the face. And they're going to be strapped. Sun teens that do this type of thing, they're going to be strapped. So you're going to come to the door and you're going to get your head blown off. And he's going to get an ankle monitor and a 2023 court date, which he may not make it to because he may get killed in another incident with some other Sun teens. So I'm trying to project forward and see where this is going. Right now, it's glider teens. And I know a lot of you guys are like, whoa, can't you just keep it about the gliders? The gliders is doing it. Well, I mean, not really. But like, it's mostly gliders, but there's a lot of Sun teens that are doing this. But the hood upgrade, the Sun teen hood upgrade hasn't come into it yet. Hasn't been installed. And when that gets installed, you're going to see an escalation in this. You're going to see something added to it to make it a little bit more dangerous because they come from more dangerous environments. So their orientation to the future is different. Their value for life is different. So it's like fear factor. Level 1 fear factor, before they go to the first commercial break, those challenges are not as hard as the ones when they come out of the second commercial break. So you have to look at it like that. And I'm just projecting forward because I know what Sun Team is going to do to this challenge. And they're going to escalate. And as a nation, it's going to cause a lot of problems because some glider is going to come to the door with a shotgun and blow one of their brains out, and we're going to have riots and protests and all this crap. And as I said, if a glider comes, or a Sunman, or an Ombrito, or Crouching Tiger comes to the door and blows one of these glider teens' heads off, no one's going to care.
Well, ditch type thing, but I think this was way worse than that.
The family believes it may have been a viral TikTok challenge where kids take videos kicking random doors. It's made headlines around the world. Karen Cruz says her door was actually kicked in Orlando.
All I see is just particles of my door just flying into the living room. So we get up and it's a group of kids that's in the neighborhood that's just kicking in doors.
Okay, so the upgrade has already been partially installed. So the Sun teens, they don't just kick your door and run. They kick your door in and run. But I don't think that's the end of the upgrade. I think that's just the first install. That's the first chip. I think they have more upgrades coming.
Karen Cruz says her door was actually kicked in Orlando.
All I see is just particles of my door just flying into the living room. So we get up and it's a group of kids that's in the neighborhood that's just kicking in doors.
Police have not said whether these cases were related to social media, but these homeowners say, bottom line, it's a dangerous game.
It's not funny. You could have got hurt. We could have got hurt.
You see those lights in the back in the distance? There's a car waiting for him. So he's not just going to run. A lot of times, well, it depends, but this is one tactic. We're going to ride around in the car and do this stuff. So you come to the door and the kid's gone. He's in the next zip code by the time the police get there.
We could have got hurt. Some other houses you probably would have gotten hurt.
We reached out to Melbourne police to see if they have any leads on this latest door kicking case, and we didn't hear back. Danielle Lama, Fox 35 News.